This episode of Jumbled is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, and MP3 player. This episode is also brought to you by a really lazy guy named Zach. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about very attractive men that I get to look at. And by men, I mean man, but Johnny is sort of multiple men. I'm Zach.
I'm Johnny, and
that was a weird intro. I just sort of went on a ramble there, and it just sort of led down a rabbit hole there.
We may have had this conversation before.
Okay.
But you know how in Skype, you're like the person you're talking to is the main screen?
Yeah.
And you're like this little corner screen?
Mm-hmm.
I much prefer that reversed.
It's the haircut, isn't it?
I love looking at myself. Just saying,
oh, okay.
What is wrong with you?
I thought you were dogging on my haircut. I was about to say, hey.
No, man, your haircut looks good. You're looking fresh as fuck.
Thank you. It's I like it. It's a summer cut. And now we're heading into winter. We had our first snow yesterday.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah. And they're predicting snow on Halloween. So all the pagans are up in arms around here.
I mean, that's pretty standard that at least where I have lived in Canada, that you always have snow before Halloween.
Does that change how Canadians plan for Halloween, or is
100%. You have to have your Halloween costume has to be adaptable to deal with sub-zero temperatures.
So there's
you know how many times I was a fat ninja? Granted, sometimes I was actually just fat, but a lot of the times it was because you had to make a costume that fit over a snowsuit or made sense if your snowsuit was over, which really takes you out of character, you know?
Right.
No one wants to be a ninja and then wearing like a ski suit.
Right.
Because you don't really feel ninja-like when you're running around in your puffy, neon reflective snowsuit so your dumbass kid body doesn't get crushed by a car.
Were there so there was nobody trying to retain that summer spirit and going dressed as like a dude from the beach or something like that, like no shirt, like there's never any of that.
I don't think, and I trick-or-treated honestly right up until the time I was probably 15. And
don't lie, Johnny, it was last year. That's when you cut it off.
Hey, I'm a big believer in if you're wearing a costume, you get candy.
Exactly. If you're willing to approach my door wearing some humiliating outfit,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to make you work for it a little bit. But
yeah, do a little dance,
Yeah, but I mean, if kids show up and they don't have a costume, I'm kind of like, fuck off. But, man, a grown-ass adult, you could ring my doorbell on Thursday.
Yeah.
And if you have a hat on even, I'll consider throwing some candy at your face.
It's a MAGA hat.
I mean, that's a costume.
I saw a funny costume online, a good idea at least. It was apparently in like this college town, and it was on Halloween. It was like this older woman, and she had these trick-or-treaters knock on her door, and she opened the door, and it was another door. It was like a door right in front of her.
That's
like
amazing.
A door in a frame, and then there was a sign by the door. It said knock. So she knocked on the door, and then the door opened, and it was a bunch of frat guys dressed as old women, and they gave her candy, and then went away.
That's fucking brilliant. Those guys are heroes.
Yeah,
those guys are the jumbled heroes of the week. If you hear this podcast, write into us. That's Halloween spirit, man. That's what it's all about. Get someone to laugh, give them an experience,
Yeah.
Be silly. Let yourself go. I love it.
I love it too, man. Hey, you know what? I think we just found a new segment.
The Jumbled Hero of the Week.
The hero of the week, dude.
Ooh. All right.
It's intriguing. We're gonna have to.
Jumbled Hero of the Week will get one of the doilies and a jumbled shout out.
There you go.
So if you'd like to be Jumbled Hero of the Week, feel free to write in and let us know why you deserve such outstanding honors.
Sure.
And I'll be honest, we're not going to set parameters on this, so you tell me why you think you deserve this shutout, and Zach and I will have a little conversation about it.
Yeah.
Just tell us what's hero like. And, the definition of hero can be, is very subjective.
Yes. Being heroic is a very subjective thing. I agree. But either way, I think that could be a pretty fun segment every week there. So
I'm into it.
That was one that just came out of nowhere, Johnny.
Out of this big ol' slightly damaged brain.
CTE, how's it doing, by the way? How's your CTE brain doing, by the way?
Did you see my post on the weekend?
Yeah, I did.
About why do I have like 8 bottles of WD-40? Why? Because I always forget I have WD-40, and I'm shopping around. I'm like, oh, I should get some WD-40. And I started cleaning my garage, and it's just like that was the start of it, Zach. That was where I was like, okay, it's gotten to a point where I need to document this. There's more. Like Billy Blaze here.
Continue. What else did you buy that you didn't need?
Well, I would never say I've ever bought anything that I didn't need, because in that moment I needed it for some reason or not. Whether that need was justified, that's a whole nother philosophical question. But I got a lot of shit. I've been purging a lot, but there's a decent amount of garage shit, and it felt good to just dig into it. Found some long lost Corolla parts that I'm gonna sell now. So rip the guy who bought my Corolla.
You didn't throw him in the trunk before he drove away.
Well, I tried to get everything, but
yeah.
I was hoarding shit for almost a decade for that car.
Sure.
So I started collecting parts for that car before I even had one of those cars. So I just, going through boxes and organizing and finding all kinds of goody goods, a lot of WD-40. It was real exciting. I organized all of my fasteners, so like all my screws, all of that shit, organized into nice bins. Haven't labeled yet, but I'm going to start labeling.
Look at you, man.
It's feeling good. It's looking good in there. I took a before picture, and I'm not quite ready to take an after picture.
Yeah.
But we're working on it. So
my garage is in a constant state of disrepair.
Do you park in your garage? I'm assuming no.
No, not yet, but I'm planning on it. I took a tree branch to my to the Acura's windshield. Was it last weekend or whatever? And
oh no, what happened?
Tree branch fell out of the tree during a storm. Luckily I was fully covered on insurance, so
oh, that's good.
Just got the Safe Light dudes to come out and change it in the parking lot of my work, and I just had a sort of janky car for a little over 24 hours, but anyway,
all said and done, not too shabby. Could have been worse, right? Could have been like a whole tree.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. There were some bigger limbs that had fallen, like, I don't know, less than 10 feet from the car. So I have reasoning now to get the garage the rest of the way cleaned. We spent a good amount of a week straightening out half the garage, and honestly that was the worst part of the garage. So now at least one half of it's clean, the other half should go pretty quick. So
yeah, that's good. It feels good sometimes just to get in there and start doing that stuff, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, I love my garage. I hate it, but I love it. Like, it's a piece of shit garage. It's a little bit small.
Sure.
But I love it, and it means, it's my space, and I try and take care of it. But I do get really distracted. As you know, I'm really busy, so I start projects, and I mostly finish projects, but then I don't always do the proper cleanup, and then something else comes up. So you can see Like I have approximately 25-ish feet of workbenches in my garage. Like I have like a big L. I built big L workbenches, and I have like set up tooling and whatnot.
Sure.
So you can see little project sections as I was cleaning up, where I'm like, oh, I was working on this in this, couple square feet, and then you go over a little bit and like, oh, yep, that was that project, and there are the tools for that. So just trying to get all that shit sorted out.
Cleaning up anything is the worst part, man, because you get all your shit out and you're like, okay, cool. Like you got a head full of steam heading into the project or whatever, and then after the project's done or you're wrapping up, you've expelled all of your energy on the project, and now you don't have any energy to clean up. So I know what that's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind cleaning it, but it is usually an afterthought, and there's always, current John is always cursing John from the past for fucking him hard by leaving shit somewhere, and then I can't find it when I need it. So I try and stay on top of it. But
you fuck yourself?
Oh, I fuck myself hard. Real question though. I want to circle back to the original point of conversation. What are your thoughts on Halloween? Are you a Halloween guy? Do you get into it? Do you get dressed up? Does your work support dressing up?
No. To both.
No?
I don't. So the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right?
Oops.
It's all good. As far as Halloween goes, for me, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. There's a lot of prep time, unless you're just doing an easy costume. I like the easy costumes. If I can do an easy costume where it doesn't require a whole lot of prep, I'm all for it. I have no problem. I'm introverted anyway, so I'd prefer to just be home, or with people that I feel comfortable around. So I don't really go to like a whole lot of like Halloween parties or anything like that. It's a bit of a tense situation because my wife is the complete opposite. She loves Halloween. She loves everything about it. So here I am,
dressed to the nines, and what's the Halloween version of?
Oh my gosh,
a humbug.
Oh, I don't know. Probably like who's that kid from The Simpsons? He's the goody kid.
Like one of the Flanders kids?
No, not one of Flanders. I don't think he's Flanders kid. I don't know. He's the one that's like just
Lisa
not
Simpson.
Jaded to the world. No, not Lisa. It doesn't matter. It's
Milhouse.
not one of the Simpsons. Milhouse is a good example. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. So it's like, but like, just for instance, last year, my wife was a demented version of Ronald McDonald. Looked like a evil Ronald McDonald, and she went the whole, the whole 9 yards, just went out of control on it. And here I am over here. I'm like, oh, I could what bearded dude could I be? That's easy, I sort of use what I already have and try to make that into a thing, or just
That's
go
fair.
the easy route. I don't know.
You know who goes hard on Halloween?
Who?
Ours truly, Lacey.
Does she? That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Hard.
That doesn't surprise me, and I bet she has some pretty badass costumes that she's done too.
One year she dressed up as a little girl from The Exorcist. And she got makeup to make her face flaky, and she got the fucked up teeth. It was really perplexing because she would send me videos of her in the nightgown, twerking, and then she turns around and it's just this movie quality demon face. I was like, disgusting.
Oh my god.
Just horrified. Those pictures, those Snapchats, gave me fucking nightmares.
Yeah.
Because Lacey is my friend. She is an attractive human being.
Sure.
And then just to see this stark contrast, was something else. And then last year, she dressed up in drag. And when I say drag, she's a woman who dressed up as a man who's dressing up as a woman.
Oh God.
So
it
was
like an Inception sort of thing.
It was very Inception-like, also very perplexing because she had like the way she did her makeup, it gave her like the masculine features, but were trying to be softened as a woman. So my brain was just really confused by that.
Ugh.
And then this year she also did a fantastic job, and dressed up as one of her male friends and got this awesome beard and this like skull wig bald thing and like a hat, and like she changes her voices for all this stuff. She goes all out. Like, I wish I had that level of passion and creativity. I'm not a creative person in that sense.
No.
I traditionally protest Halloween. I'm not a big fan of getting dressed up.
Yeah.
I am definitely a holiday humbug in general. Last year I was in Mexico, so I didn't have to deal with it. My office, they get really into it. And I'm client facing, so there's always that part of me that's if a client calls me and needs to meet me or see me, I'm going to make that happen. I don't want to show up in here's my fairy outfit.
Nah, man, you got to do it.
But I do keep I in general keep a change of clothes in my office.
Yeah.
In case I spill something, or I have been known to blow the ass out of my pants occasionally. It's just good safety measure, you know, or
Sure.
I come in on a casual Friday and I have nothing on my calendar, and then someone calls me and says, "Hey, can you meet me?" I don't want to show up in jeans and a short sleeve shirt.
Sure.
So I get changed and I go and do my thing. But this year I'm in the office, and this year there's competition, and I have new team members who are very excited about Halloween. And I want to be a good boss, and I don't want them to show up and them see me not dressed up and them being like, "Oh, I guess I can't do this," because I support it. I like it. I like seeing people do it. I'm just not comfortable doing it myself.
Right.
So I've been thinking about what I'm going to do that's kind of subtle, kind of John-like. And my first thought was simple. A lot of people talk about The Office in my office, so I was going to dress up as Dwight. And I had this very last minute thought and started looking for shirts, you know, that the classic kind of brown, yellow, short sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to find in Canada in the winter.
Short sleeve yellow t-shirts or
Yeah.
yellow button ups. I'm sure that's not easy.
Yeah. So then I went to the internet and Amazon. Even with Prime, it could not guarantee me that I could get it in time. Granted, I procrastinated. I fully admit that.
Right.
So then I was thinking, well, what's the next best? Well, obviously Ron Swanson pops up.
Sure.
I have similar hair.
Uh-huh.
I have a similar personality to him in some ways. People at work have said that I am like a weird hybrid of Dwight and Ron Swanson, so I accept that. And I do have a red polo
Uh-huh.
that I could wear.
Yeah.
Or I could pull off some kind of sweater.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to shave my beard and rock the mustache.
Okay. Yeah, you have to. If you're going as Ron Swanson, you can't be bearded. Although
Yeah,
I think there was an episode or two where he
has had a beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I might do that one. But then
You should go as before you jump off of Ron Swanson. You should go as Ron Swanson when he was on that Tammy Bender that one time where he he got the cornrows. Yeah. You should do that version of Ron Swanson.
I don't have time to pull that off. In so many ways. So I was thinking, like, I have a red polo and I can bust out some, shitty khakis.
Sure.
And, some brown leather shoes, and I can just
gotta
walk around.
work on the furrowed brow. You just got to be pissed off all day long.
Be grumpy. And then I would, I figured I could stuff a pillow in my belly to like make up
Sure.
some fatness and add some. Otherwise, people just might think I dress weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a sort of standard outfit unless you make it you gotta take what is evident about Ron Swanson and you sort of gotta blow it up. You know?
That's why I was thinking, like, I need to make a belly.
Yeah.
And I need to have that face, that grumpy face, just like a skeptical, grumpy face. And I'll do the mustache, and I'll try and do my hair a little bit more poofy like his.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll see if I can get a fake landmine on Amazon to put on my desk like he has the Claymore.
Yeah.
That might help. I think people would get it. But then I was thinking, and I'm maybe leaning towards this one. This is going to be pushing my character a little bit in my comfort zone. But then I thought about dressing up like an American, and I may or may not have a legit MAGA hat.
Okay.
That I got for someone else that I haven't given it to yet.
Yeah.
I don't think they would care if I busted it out of the packaging.
Okay.
And I was thinking I could cut up like an old plaid shirt, like sleeveless, wear like a white beater underneath, and just go like trailer park American.
You could.
And I
could
get
definitely
like
do that.
A toy shotgun or something.
Yeah, you should get. Nothing says redneck like some ripped jean shorts. Ooh. So you got to get some jeans. Like, go get some Salvation Army jeans.
This is so fucking cold, dude.
I know. You gotta be dedicated, but you're gonna be.
What do
inside
I wear on my feet?
You're gonna be in an office.
That? I don't have like cowboy boots. I could make some kind of boot work though, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be cowboy boots. It really doesn't. You could just wear whatever boots.
Maybe black out one of my teeth.
Yeah, just walk around with a tin of skull and just like shake the tin around all day long.
Ooh, it gives me a good excuse to buy some skull. I mean, what?
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to think of what some other stereotypical American. I mean, is there any way you could develop type 2 diabetes between here and?
Well, again, I think I'd go with the fat pillow, like some kind of body pillow.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? You think I can pull that off?
Johnny, I think you can pull anything off. All I'm saying
I was thinking
is
handlebar mustache.
Like handlebar for sure.
Handlebar mustache.
Yep. You got to play
some
Skinner
funky chops.
Yep. Yes, the mutton chops, the really low mutton chops, but the distinct separation between your mustache and your mutton chops. That's got to happen.
And I'm definitely bringing a razor to work because if I get called into a meeting.
Yeah. But you got to walk around just plain Skinnerd all day long. Just Leonard Skinnerd all over the place.
All right. I like it. I like where this is going. I'm perplexed between Ron and America now, and
well, but isn't Ron sort of the epitome of America though?
He is in many ways.
He's a free spirit, you know. He's very anti-system. He doesn't like big government. He doesn't like all that stuff, which I can get behind. So, just you know what? It's a toss-up, man. I feel like the day before, you just have them both ready. The next morning, you wake up and you flip a coin, and that's the one you're doing. You know.
I don't know, Zach. I need to solve this right now.
You gotta have it. Okay, you gotta figure it out now. Okay. Do you have anybody else that could dress up as a Parks and Rec character as well?
No, it's too late. It's too late for that. I don't think I could get. I tried to convince one of my colleagues to go as Leslie. Nope. She wasn't down.
Dang, dude.
I know. And she was one of the ones who I assume because she's like really, really, really into dressing up. So I imagine that she's got like a pretty dope costume set up. And I'm way too late. Like I recognize that. I'm sorting this out. I started thinking about it yesterday, and our Halloween thing is Thursday, which is Halloween, right? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, CT doesn't bother me at all. I know what day it is.
What year is it, actually?
Yeah.
I'll hug you, Johnny. Next time I see you, I'll just give you a big hug and tell you it's gonna be okay.
Oh, thank you. That's all I need. I love hugs.
Yeah.
You know, I love
just don't
hugs.
go on don't go postal and just flip out and do something irrational before then. You know, don't need you to do pull a Junior Seau or something like that. Your CTE isn't that bad, is it?
No, I'm not there. We're
okay.
Good. We're good.
Hey guys, let's stop to take a second to talk about the sponsor for today's podcast. That would be Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your ears on a fresh new audiobook. They've got over 180,000 different ones that you can pick from. So you're gonna find something that works for you. The one we're going to talk about this month is The Way I Heard It by Mike Rowe. The length of this audiobook is 7 hours and 55 minutes. You guys might know Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, the TV show that was on Discovery a while back. Super popular. The summary of the book states, Emmy Award-winning gadfly Mike Rowe presents a ridiculously entertaining, seriously fascinating collection of his favorite episodes from America's #1 short-form podcast, The Way I Heard It, along with a host of memories, ruminations, and insights. It's a delightful collection of mysteries, a mosaic, a memoir, a charming, surprising must-have. Mike Rowe's The Way I Heard It collects 35 fascinating stories for the curious mind with a short attention span. 5-minute mysteries about people you know filled with facts that you didn't. Movie stars, presidents, Nazis, rank traders, and bloody do-gooders. They're all here, waiting to shake your hand, hoping you'll remember them. Delivered with Mike's signature blend of charm, wit, and ingenuity, their stories are part of a larger mosaic, a memoir crammed with recollections, insights, and intimate behind-the-scenes moments drawn from Mike's remarkable life and career. That's going to do it, guys. If you guys want to check that one out, I've already used my credit this month on it, and I'm going to be giving it a listen for sure. But if that isn't something that you guys want to listen to, cool. They have all kinds of different categories, such as mysteries and thrillers, kids, nonfiction, new releases, meditation and fitness, self-development. The list goes on and on, guys. Check it out. Just head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled, and hey, you guys have a great day.
You're not like a Chris Benoit level right now, are you?
No,
You're not gonna flip out and go murderous.
No, I'm not even close to that. There's no
Good.
worries about that. I'm just forgetful.
Okay.
A lot of the time.
You know what? I am too, but I've never suffered a TBI. Actually, I think I've been concussed before.
Oh, once? Just once, eh?
Yeah, major concussion. I'm pretty sure once.
Well, that's not bad. Oh my god, my dogs are fucking losing their mind about something.
Oh, fucking corgis, dude. Do you lose them in the snow? Have we talked about this?
I have seen them disappear in snow. Gus loves snow. He will just walk up to a snowbank and just plop his face and just sit there with his full face head covered in the side, like into the side of a snowbank. He'll just sit there. What the fuck are you doing, dog? Like, what is going on?
Snow.
Yeah, it's something else. Winnie, she's not as fat as Gus. She's less excited about the snow. She still has fun, but you know, it's all good.
Yeah, my old dog, Ruby, she's sort of prissy. Like, she doesn't like the rain. She's an indoor dog for sure. Like, she'll go out and do her business. She won't make a mess in the house. But as soon as she's done, she's back in the house and she's laying down on a bed or something. She's very, very spoiled. My other dog is Brizzy. He's more than willing. He's an Australian Shepherd, so he's out there running around, sort of nuts. Yeah, but he's less than a year old, so I'm excited to see what he does with snow this year. Hopefully, we get a good amount of it for him. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't think I'm gonna be dressing up as anything for Halloween. I guess
you should dress up as a Canadian.
I don't know how to dress up like a Canadian.
Boo.
I honestly don't even know stereotypical things. I just wear like a Raptors jersey or something like that. Like, I don't know. Hockey jersey, and learn the Canadian national anthem. That's really all like. And they just sing it all night or hum it, and then just say sorry to everybody.
Sorry.
Oh,
Some maple
sorry.
syrup.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I could be stereotypical, but you are also being stereotypical, so.
That's true, and that's okay.
It is. Halloween isn't about, it's about being a little crazy. It's like a free pass. Except no blackface. You still can't get away with blackface.
No, you can't, unless you're a prime minister.
So we're a week removed from the decision. Has it set in for you that you got to deal with another? How long are the terms? 4 years.
Well, so here's how it works. So they ended up winning a minority government, which means that they can be challenged to go back into the voting again.
Okay.
Usually minority governments last for 18 to 24 months. It is the longest minority government was like 3 years, I think, just almost like 3 and a bit, before they get a vote of no confidence, and then they have to go back, and then we re-vote. So, in some ways, it's a good thing. Because then, I mean, minority governments are great because it forces the governments to work together to pass bills, which usually means the other parties have a bit of a say, and it's a little bit more balanced and better representation of all the people.
Right.
In this situation, it's not that good. I would prefer they had a majority government because now they have to work with some real crazies. And that means some of the real crazy stuff might get passed. But it also opens them up to the, going back to campaign. So right now, has my life changed drastically? No. Do I really see it changing real drastically with a minority government? Not really. There is the potential. I'm a little bit calmer about it now. Not pleased, not upset.
Gotcha.
So we did have a little bit of an interesting reversal in that the Conservatives actually won the popular vote. And if we had proportionate representation, it would look a lot different. And where I think it really, really matters, even though I like at my core disagree with some of these other parties, they really got screwed. And I think the people that voted for them really got screwed with how our first past the post system is designed, where there are parties that got 6% of the popular vote, but only got 1%, only get 1% of the representative in as far as seats go. So they're really underrepresented, right? Which to me is unfortunate, and it also makes it really tough for that party to gain momentum, or for people to see them as a viable option. Like, in my opinion, the more parties there are, the more choices. It forces that collaboration. You'll naturally kind of default to a minority government, and you just get more change and forces people to work together, which we all need to learn just to meet in the goddamn middle.
You're totally right.
So I think proportionate representation is important in that sense, and even again recognizing I don't agree with them, I don't want them to win, but I do think they need to be better represented. And I think that's a red flag for the way our government system is set up, and people have talked about looking into it. But at the end of the day, people want to keep their jobs, and that's a whole nother conversation about career politicians. So in the meantime, we carry forward. I'm going to do my thing and hope that I don't lose all my guns, and that maybe they will make some good decisions. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they will take this time and do something better than what they did with the last 4 years. And if they don't, we'll probably go back and vote in 2 years, and we'll see what happens. That's kind of where I took it, I'm a moderate guy. I can get along with just about anyone. I just, just don't be a d-hole.
I think you got a really healthy way approaching it mentally, though, where you may not, like you said, you may not agree with everything, but I think that it's healthy that you still, you're still hopeful and you still respect the politicians for the positions that they hold and the severity of that responsibility that they hold. I think that's
it's not an
healthy.
easy job, and
No.
you got to work with what you got. And Trudeau won, and he in his speech he made it very clear that he understands the divide between our country, and that he wants to represent people from across the country, even if they didn't vote for him. And that's basically him saying, I get that you don't like me, give me a chance to make it up. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he takes a little bit more moderate or intelligent approach to policies this time around, and maybe he learned his lesson. And if he did, great. I think everyone's better for it. And if he didn't, well, then he is probably going to get voted out in 2 years, and we'll repeat the cycle just with a different face on it. So
yeah, it's oftentimes it's more of the same, right? With politics.
At the end of the day, it's always the same shit. It's just flip flops back. The pendulum, right? It's just
right,
swinging hard.
Yeah, swinging hard.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to make a dick joke to try to break up the politics.
Politics?
Yeah.
I mean,
swinging
easy
hard.
Setup, but
that was an easy setup, but I didn't have anything queued up for.
Wouldn't be jumbled if we didn't drop a dick joke,
I don't think we made a dick joke all last week, honestly.
That's a good. Ooh, interesting. I did not listen. I have not listened for a little bit. But fact checker.
Yeah, let me bring him in. Hey, he lives with me, actually. Hey,
it's one of your dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's funny how we've just sort of cycled fact checkers in and out,
That's because
nobody
we're dumb as shit and no one wants to deal with all that.
It's too big a job.
It really is. Trust me, I know. I've done it. Spent so much time. I spent more time on fact checking than I did actually being a host on this podcast.
That's how it goes, man.
We are hot garbage. Remember I used to send you and Joe like pages of notes.
Yeah, you went real in depth with a lot of it.
That was when I wasn't that busy with life. Now I'm just like, ah.
Right.
I just feel like my life is constantly flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good way to approach life, honestly. Just sort of
pressure makes diamonds.
Sure, be prepared for whatever you might encounter, but at the same time, don't try to plan every moment. Let it sort of just happen.
Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, baby. Just go with the flow. Speaking
of Joe, though, he backed out on us again this week. Obviously, what if I was just like, and we have a guest 30 minutes into the podcast? We've been introducing Joe this entire time.
Yeah, well, we'll make it work at some point. Maybe not. He does have a baby.
I get it.
And a very busy wife, and he's being a good, supportive husband and father.
I'm not putting him down at all. He's just a piece of shit.
Maybe all of those things, but he's a piece of shit friend.
I like where we were both going with it, though.
It's all good, baby.
Just give him hell, dude.
Hell.
I mean, yeah, we'll get him on here at some point. Hopefully next week. But you know what? Maybe it won't be next week. Maybe it'll be
next week. Might not be next week. Might be never.
Maybe Joe never comes back on the podcast.
I really hope he starts, recording his gardening episodes. That's what I really want to.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Joe to release a. I talked to him a while back about recording a solo, just a solo episode. See if he could do it. Just a solo.
He hasn't. I've done one. You've done a couple. I mean, that's a.
Yeah, do a Joe spot. I know that he doesn't have to do anything, but I know at one point he was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And
you know what it's gonna be? It's just gonna be him playing Fortnite and just shit talking everyone that he's playing it.
I mean, that would be something he would do.
I mean, I'd post it.
If I'm being honest,
probably do bad for our ratings, but I'd post it.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of ratings, I need to go back through and see how we're doing lately. I haven't been calculating it recently. So hey,
We
you know what?
have been slacking a little bit. We've had a few
Yeah, late
rewind
ones.
weeks. I do feel guilty, but just sometimes, sometimes it's all you got.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to use it as a cop out, but we're getting towards the end of the year. This is the time when there's a lot going on.
I'm really sick of looking at your face.
Yeah, yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, totally.
You know how I feel, and I'm gonna be real honest. There are times where I'm super amped to podcast,
Yeah,
and there are times where I'm just not in the headspace to do it.
yeah. No,
But I'll tell you what,
just like anything.
I have never signed off after recording with you feeling worse than I did before. I always feel better, and sometimes I have to tell myself that hey, in this very moment, like I'm really thinking about dinner right now because I just got back from a hard session at the gym, and then I was late, and then I didn't want to keep you waiting while I made food.
Right.
But I'm having a great time.
Me too. It is cathartic, and it's one of those things where you don't realize that you might need it, until you're in the middle of recording, and before you know it, you've gone, what are we at, 40 minutes in, and
Just boom.
Getting some time in with a good buddy who I miss, and it's a good part of every week, man.
It sure is. It is. I do enjoy chatting with you even prior to the show, just sorting shit out,
Yeah.
But I was thinking, would it be inappropriate use of my assistant to make him come up with topics for the podcast?
It's not billable, so as long as he doesn't have anything else to do, we're not paying him. That's all I'm saying. Unless you're paying him out of your own pocket.
I got one person on my team that I make give me tips for fantasy football. Get
There you
another
go.
person on my team to give me podcast ideas.
Dude, I really think the jumbled hero of the week is going to be pretty cool because that'll give us somebody to look up, and we'll have to.
And it doesn't have to be a famous person or a historic person. You can nominate yourself. Send us in a story that will make us laugh or cry or just spark some emotion in us.
Right.
And tell us why you think you deserve such a great honor.
Right.
And we'll share that story live. Make sure if you don't want your name to be shared, your full name.
Yep.
Make sure you say that because, like Ron Burgundy, I will read everything.
That's true. I would also say, we tend to record these a little bit later. Like right now it's Tuesday. We're supposed to release tomorrow. Might be Thursday. I'm pretty tired. But I would say the sooner you can get that submission into us, the better, because there are some times where we, record on the weekends.
And I suspect we'll get a lot of applications.
Sure. And we'll talk it all out, obviously, before
we'll sort it out. So when you're feeling inspired, send us an email or a message, whatever, however you want, with your story and why you deserve it. And when it aligns or when you're a successful candidate, we'll announce it.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. And it's not like there's a cutoff. Like, you submit it late one week, no big deal. We'll just
you'll still be considered for future weeks. Like, don't get me wrong. It's going to be like a cascading candidate pool, right?
Sure.
Just because you send it one week, if we don't get it that week, we'll still consider you for future weeks.
Sure. Unless we get an overflowing amount of submissions.
Well, unless your story is garbage, and then we might pitch it. But
yeah, you're not.
I have faith in all of our listeners who are lovely, creative, intelligent people that do amazing things in this world. I think we're going to have a lot of great stories. It's going to be really difficult, and I'm looking forward to the challenge personally.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I would like to. I don't have a specific person who I want to nominate this week. But I would say all the people that are giving out the full-size candy bars on Halloween. You guys.
Amen. You get a full-size candy bar, or your kid does, or you hear about it. You send us that person's address and we will announce it so that next year people know where to go.
We will blast their address out. That's a bad idea. That's a really
that's a
bad.
lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, cease and desist. Pull that shit down.
Yeah. Hey, there's a first time for everything. I do have to say, as a kid, getting that full-size candy bar was a fucking jackpot.
Yeah, dude.
And now as an adult who has some financial capacity, I'm really sad. We live in a seniors neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get any kids. The first year we moved to this house, there's like schools in our area, which I thought mean there'd be a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Turns out all those kids get shipped in from other places. I bought so much candy and no one rang the fucking doorbell. I just sat there and ate like $50 full of candy. Like the fat fuck that I am. Just mowing through Reese's peanut butter cups.
I like that phrase. Mouth.
just giving her. You know dodgeball.
Giving her.
Just giving her, baby.
That's so Canadian. That's the most Canadian thing I've heard all day, Johnny. You've said a handful of times.
Hey man, I can't help it.
Just giving her, dude.
So dodgeball, Ben Stiller when he
yeah.
loses and he lets himself go.
Yeah.
That is exactly me. Pre-Halloween, fit, focused, eating healthy.
Sure.
Halloween comes along. I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see all these kids and be that like cool house that gives out awesome candy. I buy all this fucking candy. No one shows up. 2 hours later, I'm like 45 pounds heavier, sitting in a pool of my own depression, just covered in candy wrappers, just hating myself. But I can't stop. I'll keep fucking going.
Oh yeah.
I won't stop. Once I get into that, I cannot stop. It's so scary.
You've got that personality. Which, by the way, how's WoW going? You still neck deep in some WoW?
I slowed down a little bit. I had a couple good weekends where I was going hard, but I didn't play much last week. I didn't play at all last weekend. Allie's parents were in town, and we were doing a bunch of other more fun stuff, and I was tired.
Yeah.
Man, I was real tired. I didn't realize how tired I was. I took all of last week off from the gym because we were doing our gym was under renos, and I get really anxious and restless when I don't go to the gym, and I did. But I woke up Sunday morning and was just like, man, I'm in like so much less pain right now.
Yeah. Your body's just not aching from head to
just
toe.
not getting punched all the time and slapped and tossed around. And I think every once in a while it's good to take a rest. I was definitely I was pent up like aggression. I needed to get out, and I was real excited for Monday to get out there and go hard.
Yeah.
But there was a part where I was like, hey, that week off was pretty good for the body to just chill out. And I just hung out with Allie, and then her parents were in town, and we went to a restaurant for my birthday, and classic Fat John. So I get to pick the restaurant.
Okay.
Which I was really stoked on.
Yeah.
So I picked Safari Grill, which is one of Allie and I's favorite places.
Okay.
It's a West African place.
Okay.
Really, really good. And I was like, yo, it's my birthday. Allie's parents are really big pushers of it's birthday. You get whatever you want. Like, go hard. And I was like, all right, I'm going to test this theory. So I'm looking at the menu.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of usuals that I get that are always pretty good. And then I saw this massive platter. And this platter had shrimp skewers, chicken skewers, beef skewers, a pound of ribs, and a half chicken.
Okay.
And in my head, I thought, I should have kind of put two and two together with a half chicken and a pound of ribs. But in my head, I thought this was going to be kind of a sample platter. Right? So our waitress comes around.
Except it's like $40.
It was $45.
Yeah. That's not a sample platter, dude.
So our waitress comes around, takes everyone orders. She comes to me last. I'm like, I want I can't even remember what it's called. It was some fancy name, something like African name platter.
Right.
And she's like, okay. And I was like, yeah. She's like, do you want sides with that? Like, it doesn't come with anything. I was like, what? It's $45. It doesn't come with like rice and some naan or something? And she's like, no, that's like, no, it's like separate. And I was like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. I guess I'll get like a little bit. I got chapati, which is like African version of naan bread. And she just looks at me kind of funny, puzzled, and is like, okay, whatever. And then, you know, some time comes by and she brings everyone's meal and she brings mine out, and it is a massive fucking platter. like takes up half the table platter. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't really think about what a half chicken and a pound of ribs and all these giant shish kebabs would look like.
So and, how long were you eating on that for?
Oh, I ate that so fast. I was real fucking hungry.
Wait, you ate all of it in one sitting?
Oh, fuck yeah, I did, baby. And I ate some appetizer.
I wish I could give you a hug right now, dude. That's very impressive.
I fucking crushed it. Turns out that is what you order for an entire family.
Yeah.
Like like they say like 6 people to share all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I want a meat platter. I want a straight up meat platter. And I ate that shit and it was so fucking good.
Was she surprised that you ate all of it?
I think part of her was more disgusted than surprised. Like surprised, I think was one of the emotions that she was feeling, but
sure.
It was overshadowed by the fact of like, this guy just came in and ate approximately 3 pounds of meat and a bunch of chapati, and I had some funky African French fry things. I can't remember what the vegetable they're made out of. It's not a potato, but it's really good. And I had ice cream after.
Hey man, you're
pistachio
a beast,
ice cream
dude.
because I was watching my figure.
Oh yeah. But, thank goodness you went for the pistachio ice cream, dude. It wasn't
right.
like the 3 pounds of meat.
Here's the thing:
that you ate
I had chicken and some, like, it was all like not healthy. Like the ribs were not healthy because they were covered in sauce, but the chicken and steak bits and whatever.
You didn't shit. You didn't shit the next day, did you?
Oh, I shit like 3 times a day. There's nothing that stops that. You drink a bottle of Pepto-Bismol, I'll shit out 1 billion black crayons. They'll come out.
This episode's called 1 billion black crayons. Oh my god, dude.
So, you know, Ali is a flexitarian, I think is what it's called.
What does that mean?
She only cooks vegetarian, but she will eat meat if we're out or if we're at someone else's house. Like it's not a big deal.
So she's not like morally against it. It's mostly just like a diet sort of thing for her.
Like she just prefers vegetarian meals. She's a little bit conscious of the environmental impact. But if I make something, like if I make barbecue, she'll eat it, or if we go out, she'll order meat. But in general, she's just trying to limit her intake of meat. And her dad is like a very much like meat and vegetables guy.
Okay.
And Ali made vegan mac and cheese, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so perplexed by it, and he was hankering for meat, and it was so funny just watching him adjust to Ali's cooking now. And we go to this restaurant. He orders a rack of ribs too, and we both just were like, we need some fucking meat. And he looks at me and he is like, good on you, but also the look of, I can tell you really fucking need this, so go hard, bud. It's like, you just ate enough meat. That's probably more meat than you're going to eat for like the next 2 weeks. It's like, maybe, and that makes me sad. But
yeah,
I'll never complain about a cooked meal for me.
Oh, I know you won't, dude. That's not your way to
nope.
to complain about much, but much less food.
Nope, definitely not food. I love me some food. Speaking of, I'm ready to go eat, so you want to wrap this up?
Sure, let's do it. Thanks for stopping by this week, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was good to get back on the mic and flex out the vocal cords. If you guys want to find us on any and all social media by searching for Jumbled Podcast. If you want to send us any emails, that'd be jumbledpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening wherever you are. We're on all the major podcasting platforms. But please make your way over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It would help us out a lot. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsor for this week's podcast, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and take advantage of that 30-day free trial and free audiobook that we are offering to you guys free of charge. Just need your respect and admiration. That's all we ask. And head over to patreon.com/jumbled. Pay $500, get us an address. And that's going to do it, guys. Appreciate you guys. And be sure to check back next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
About little black crayons?
It's so ridiculous, dude. See you guys later.
What is wrong with me?
That's a loaded question, Johnny. I can't really answer that.
We'll get into it next week.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you made it this far into the podcast and you're wondering why this wasn't released on Wednesday of last week, there's not a good reason. It's just that, I'm lazy and stuff. So, apologize for that. But I hope you guys had a very happy Halloween. Spooky Halloween, if you prefer it that way. Hopefully you all didn't get a bunch of razor blades in your Milky Ways, or any. I hope you all got THC candies in all of your baskets, though.